What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And the economy is not doing great. Uh, and while this is automotive based channel, we do talk about money and stuff sometimes. And there are indicators that I look at, not just real estate, because that is one, right? But there are indicators that I look at that um, really determine where the economy's at. And some of you guys that know me know industries that I've been in before. One of those was strip clubs. I had strip clubs in Miami and a couple other places. And when strippers are not making money, that's a bad indicator. But that's not the only indicator. I'm just getting you ready for this video. I was tempted to bring on people that I know that still work in the industry, and I was like, I don't know. But I'll say this. When these three things are combined together, it is a massive red flag. We're going to talk about all that and more right after this. Guys, before I get into today's video, we got to talk about the giveaway that's on the channel. The Challenger, the dual Challenger giveaway. That is the 2020 Hellcat with the 1973 Challenger project car is closing out today. 12:01 a.m. midnight tonight. It is done. The new website is now live at tksgarage.com. That lets you go over to one site. You can get in on our merch. You can get in on the tools. And there's going to be extra stuff added there all the time. Currently, right now, as we close out, now there are some different high entry packages that are available through, when you pick up merch, they haven't completely sold out. But if you want to get in on all three, and we haven't mentioned what the new vehicle is that we're dropping, you can get in on the 2500 Ram Laramie factory deleted truck, meaning you're never going to have issues about the truck being deleted because it came that way from the factory. Or if you want to get in on the dual Challenger giveaways, you can do that at 500,000 entries per dollar spent, and you can max out the entries when you pick up one of the Black Ice air fresheners. It is a 2500X multiplier, but it maxes out. The system will max out at 20 million entries. So you can max out your entries on that on both of those vehicles today before this closes out, and get the same amount of entries for the vehicle that we are launching tomorrow. And it is the very first time that I am launching a vehicle that is brand new. And I figure it's the best way for us to close out because I'm not going to be doing any more vehicles probably until after Thanksgiving. It's going to be my guess because I'm going to be focused on football and family, and it's not fair for me to be trying to do all that. You'll see the videos slow down and stuff too because I'm going to be focused on Ole Miss and what's going on with the family that's playing there. So if you want to get in on it, now's the time to do it. If you want to win those Challengers, it is going to close out tonight, but you can also get in on the Ram 2500 and the new vehicle, which we haven't announced yet, which will go live tomorrow. Link in the description down below, tksgarage.com, and take advantage of those massive multipliers. All right, so indicators that I always look at when the economy is not doing good, okay? RV sales is a prime component of that. If you look at RV sales, the last time that they completely plummeted, and I mean, the level they're at now is worse than 2008. And the only other time it's been that bad in terms of RV sales, and it's not like banks aren't willing to issue loans. That's not it. Banks are willing to issue loans on RVs. RVs are almost treated like homes in terms of loans. It's almost like a lot of people think when you buy an exotic car that you get a 60-month term, or no. Depending on the exotic and how much it is, you can get like 140 month, like you can get insane financing terms when it comes to an asset, depending on how much that asset is worth and how much it costs. All right. RVs are the same way. They treat those literally like homes. So you can get, you know, a 160-month loan on an RV. I'm just throwing a number out there. For example, all right, they're not selling. The last time that happened was during COVID, obviously, and the time before that, that was really bad. Now they slowed down a little bit in the recession. Uh, you know, after '08 with Obama, right? Because we were in that recession. They, so around 2012 they slowed down a little bit, but they didn't completely fall to those 2008 levels, as well as the 2020 levels. Well, that's what we're seeing now from RV sales. That is a massive indicator of, oof, this is not good, right? Then you get to strippers. I know you're going to say, what the? Okay. All right. One of the businesses that I made a lot, I made a lot of money in when I lived in Dade County was the strip club business. I had two places of business down there. I had one that was all the way down in Homestead, and I had another one that was in Miami-Dade proper. Well, I guess they both were in Miami-Dade, but Miami police covered one place, and I hired off-duty police officers. So when you see a lot of cops, whatever, that follow my page, whatever, it's because I would deal with their unions. I'd hire off-duty cops. I did my security, ran my lots. I never had problems. Anyways, being in that business, you get a real indicator of where the economy's at. Of course, you're going to have your guys that do unscrupulous activities to make money that are always going to come in. I'm not talking about rogue dealers or whatever. You insert illegal business here, but yes, they're always going to have money. They're going to show up. But then you had your regular Joes, your regular guys that would come in that did whatever the business was. Maybe they, ran an umbrella company or something on the beach or did whatever. And when you would stop seeing those average Joes come in and spend money and the girls were making less money, you really got a pulse of the indicator of where the economy was at that moment. Well, for me, when I really started ramping up, it was after 2008. I was able to buy those properties and get into that stuff because of where the economy was. So I stole those basically. But getting to, I was lucky enough to get out. I got out in 2018 is when I sold out of my clubs. But I saw, the guys that bought the clubs from me, what they went through in 2020 with COVID, and even coming out of COVID, to see where the economy was at, to see what the girls were making, even when they had all these ridiculous rules and plexiglass and all this stuff they put up, there was no money there. And we're starting to see that now. Like, I can tell you, even out here in Las Vegas, I have people that used to work for me in Miami that now live here that are still dancers and don't make any money. I mean, none. And I don't have to get into how that business works, but those girls that are independent contractors pay a fee to come work, right? So whether it's $50 or $85 or 100 and something bucks is what it costs for them to get into the club to even be able to dance and work. And after they're there for 8 hours or 10 hours, if you stay for the whole shift, you pay less in a house fee. I don't have to get into the politics of it, but that's how that works. And the clubs are doing okay because guess what? The girls are paying those fees, unless the clubs have common sense and they don't want to screw their girls over and they let them make it. I never charged that fee, by the way. That's why I never had a problem. My club was stacked. I never had a problem with getting girls to work at my club. But that's the reality of the business. Most places do. It's a bread and butter for them. It allows them to pay rent and do all that. I made all my money off of alcohol. But basically, these girls have to pay that money. So at the end of the night, if they had a bad night or there's nobody there's no money. And I can tell you, I've literally been to these establishments here in the last year and a half, and I've consistently watched it taper down. And it's at a point now where the girls could be there on an 8-hour shift or 10-hour shift and might make $80 after they pay their house fee, or $100. Now I know you're going to say, "Oh, I see this chick on TikTok and she posted a video. She made $3 grand." there's always an anomaly to every situation. You might have somebody come in, there might be a conference in town, somebody has a valid credit card and they pay for X amount of time. Sure, that those happen, but most of those people that are posting that on TikTok now, it's rage bait. Because if you look in the comments, all the other girls that work in the industry are like, cap, 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 cap. A good night right now in Las Vegas is, if a girl makes 300 bucks, 500 bucks. And I tell these dancers all the time, it's even better. Like, I know I have lots of friends that are bartenders in this town as well. They make way more money than strippers. And it's crazy because it used to be the other way. But that's a leading indicator, those two, in terms of where the economy's at. RV sales and strippers making no money. That's leading it for me. Because look, the average, I know you're going to say, oh, you can't, strippers are going to tell you what the economy is. Yes. Because when people have discretionary money and they're going out on the weekends and they're having fun, they go to the strip club. Like, that happens. That's why those businesses exist. And it's not to be like, oh, they're going there because they want to oogle girls. And no, that's not it. Like, they're hanging out with their friends. They get a little section. They get a bottle. They drink a little bit. They have fun. And the atmosphere is there. So the girls are atmosphere. Okay. So, yeah, the economy is not doing good. Now, the last indicator for me is when credit card companies start cutting back limits. And listen, I've heard what a lot of you guys have said. Well, Bank of America just raised my limit and Chase just gave me $5,000 more. Look, this is not being disrespectful or me calling you a peasant or saying that's not what I'm doing. I'm not talking about $5,000 limits, $10,000 limits, $20,000 limits. I'm not talking about $50,000 limit credit cards. I'm talking about cards that don't have a limit. American Express is now putting limits on cards that previously didn't have a limit. What I'm trying to explain to you here is, like, I'm an American Express business platinum customer. Now, they literally I don't have a balance. They put a limit on my card. Now, you can actually call them and submit your profit and your P&Ls and all that other stuff, and they'll fix it. You can do that. And I know there's people that are posting videos that they've already fixed their cards with Amex, whatever. I did the same thing with that card. But even my personal cards, right? Like my American Express Blue, my old school Amex, my Amex Gold, the cards that are in my name, not my business name, my personal cards, all got cut. I don't carry balances on my credit cards. Oh, I carry a balance on my military star card. If you don't know what that is, it's like if you shop at the exchange on base or the commissary, I carry a balance on that or whatever. Because I could buy something there, whether it's tires or electronics, and there's 0% interest for like 12 months, 20, free money. So I just pay it every month and it costs me nothing to do it. So yeah, I carry a balance on that. But outside of that, I don't carry a balance on anything else. Stupid. I'm not giving you 25% on my money. Why would I do that? That's dumb. All right. Or whatever it is, whatever the interest rate, they swing. I've seen people pay 33%, 38%, friggin' ridiculous. But those three indicators, when I start seeing that, and Synchrony did this during COVID, right? I saw Synchrony do it. I saw, what is the name of this company? They used to be MBNA and they got bought by somebody else and bought by somebody else. That's how old some of my credit cards are. MBNA Bank, Prodigy Bank, like old credit cards. But my Blue Green Resorts, all of my old credit cards all got hit in 2020. They all limited their balances. The only bank I think that didn't really screw with my available credit was USAA back then. That was it. But everybody else took a hit. And that was indicative of the economy, right? We were going into the whole country was shutting down. Is that what's going to happen right now? No. That's not what we're saying. I'm not saying that that's what's happening now. I'm just saying when I put all of those together, right? When I look at the RV sales, and look, you can Google this. Don't just take what I'm saying for what it is. Google it. Look and see what the RV sales are at, right? Don't just take it as me as an industry insider to understand strip clubs. Google about it. Ask Chat GPT. Ask whatever you want. Ask any AI how that business is going right now. And you'll all get the same articles. Those are red flag indicators of liquid cash money that people aren't spending. Okay. And then you get to credit lines being cut. And what I think is happening now, now I know that JP Morgan Chase is talking about propping up the housing market. They're going to make it so, like, if you have a pulse, you're going to be able to get a house. We'll see. They may back off on that in the next 30 days, depending on what's happening. But I saw the articles that came out about what Chase was doing and the fact that they were going to put up $750 billion to try to prop up the housing market. We'll see. But I'm starting to see some of the same things, even in my neighborhood here in Las Vegas. I'm watching these big $1 billion houses go into foreclosure like this. People can't afford them. And you're seeing houses that are for sale that ain't selling. These are all indicators of where the economy's at. And believe me, higher gas prices, inflation, all of that stuff doesn't help, especially when you get to people that have when I say regular income, somebody that's trying to survive on $85,000 to $100,000 a year. That's why I see it because I have a lot of friends that are in that bracket. It doesn't affect me. Outside of social media money, I do exceptionally well with my defense contracting company. If the economy goes to shit tomorrow, I work in the defense industry. I'm not going to be hurting for money. I didn't hurt for money during COVID. I was at Fort Bragg every single day. It did not affect me in the slightest at all. So I'm in an industry where it's like protected. I'm not going to have to worry about money, and I make really good money. It's when I see this stuff is when I go, oof, okay. And now I see stuff like credit acceptance, which is a subprime scumbag, rotten piece of shit car loan company. All right, Santander, those fucking scumbags. There's I try to get through the video without doing it, but you know what I'm saying. Like, there are those predatory pieces of shit. Ally Bank, they're predatory too. I mean, I know that they do good loans and bad loans, but Jesus Christ, they're horrible. You have these subprime scumbags, and when they start pulling back on loans, where they were selling them at 28% interest, that's another red flag. Now, I wasn't getting into that because I don't have a large enough data sample to be like, look, they're doing this, but Santander's doing it. Now, Santander's getting a bulk. They were getting a bulk of their financing through their direct financing, not their subprime, but Chrysler Capital, because that's who backs Chrysler Capital, Santander. Now, I don't know if they do. I don't think they do Stellantis Financial. I think Stellantis actually backs that on their own, or maybe they partner with a bank. I haven't dug into Stellantis Financial, but I say all that to say this: it's going to get harder. If you're looking at trying to get a car and you have an approval and you can get one now, you better get it, because I have a feeling in the next 30 to 60 days, it's going to get exceptionally harder for you to get a car loan. I think we're going to see other banks follow what American Express just did. You're going to get credit limits that are going to get cut. They're going to try to minimize their exposure. That's what it is. Banks are going to try to minimize their exposure, and it'll be interesting to see if Chase pulls back what they said they were going to do with the housing market. It'll definitely be interesting to see what they do with that. But anyways, I thought some of you guys might get a laugh out of it, the way I look at the economy and look at, I'm not looking at what the price of eggs are. I'm looking to see how much a stripper makes. But it's a fact. Strippers ain't making no money, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends. I can't wait to see the comment section. I'm willing to bet like half my old girls, half the girls that used to work for me in the strip club probably gonna be in the comments. Some of the ones that I know here probably gonna be in the comments. Sound off. Let them know you ain't making no money so they know I'm not full of shit.